Welcome to the lunch table, hip hop food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz, and today, very special guest in the building, Yay area, Germany. Well, actually, not even Yay area. It's like
Yay
what,
area.
Salinas, right?
Salinas/Yay
Salinas
area
slash Yay area,
slash Germany
California.
now, California. You know,
A little bit of everything, a little bit all over the
there
world,
you go.
man. Yo, special guest, Krizia.
Hey,
what's poppin', homegirl?
what's up?
Yo, just like Della, man. Like I've known you for. I want to say I've known you for like a year almost.
I know, through social
honestly.
media.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So the way I found her was, I think, just off like, I don't know, Explore page or something.
Me?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Something along the lines of that, dude. And I was like, okay, this girl's sound it's very unique. It's very like club bangy, melodic. I fuck with it. It was like hella Bay Area, but I was like, okay, but this girl's in Germany, so it's very interesting.
Hey. Well, that just happened. So, you know, Bay Area is always going to be in my system. So.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Because, I mean, if I can recall back to our first conversation, like, what, months ago? Mm-hmm. You're born in Salinas, moved out to the Bay Area for a bit in like San Jose area, and now you're over in Germany.
Yep, I know, crazy.
Dude.
It's like how the heck did I end up there?
Yeah. So obviously this is like a newer platform. We haven't done anything with YouTube for you. So can you like go over that entire spiel for everybody?
Yeah. So I was born in Salinas, good old Salinas, and I went to school there. I went to high school there and everything, and then I moved to San Jose. And I was there for like probably 4 or 5 years, and then I moved back to Salinas for a little bit, but then was working in San Jose. So I was like always kind of in the Bay Area for like the past few years. It's like my second home. And then, then Germany just kind of happened. It's just like out of the blue. It was like, boom, like we're moving to Germany. Like I don't even know how it happened. Like it just all kind of like tied in. We met some people, and then looking at like some of our stats, like music-wise, like I was seeing that Germany was actually one of the top 2 locations where my music was being played. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of curious about it. Like I would have never thought to go to Germany, but we talked about it. Me and Dela were like, okay, maybe there's something over there that we should see. Let's just pull up. And I think it was time for a change because, you know, I love the Bay Area, but I'm just the kind of person that I like to continue changing or just to continue growing and like exploring. I'm really spontaneous. So if I need to move to another country to just like figure out a new chapter, like that's what I'm going to do. So we just did it. Literally quit my job, made it happen. We planned it out. We like didn't even know, like we're the kind of people that we could be like a week before we're supposed to move. Like our flight will be like a week ahead and we don't have a house yet, but we'll be like, it's all good. We'll figure it out. So
I fuck with that.
Like we literally, like everyone thinks we're crazy and probably are a little bit, but that's just how we are. Like we know it's going to work out because we know once we set our mind on something, it's going to happen. So we just don't even stress about it. We're like, let's just figure it out.
I mean, honestly, there's no guide to life. Like nobody really tells you like, oh, I need to plan out my next couple of months before I actually do some shit. Like no, like because I mean, I grew up being like super fucking spontaneous. Yeah. And I was like, I guess after moving to LA, I find myself planning stuff a little bit more, but like with the spontaneity comes so much more opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that like for us, we know what our end goals are. Like, you know, we have long-term goals, so we don't really stress about like, you know, having an exact step-by-step plan because it's always going to change. Like things happen, life changes. So we're like, let's just go with the flow, but have our goal in mind and it'll always tie back into your goals. Like if you have that in the back of your mind, I really believe that whatever you do is always going to align to that end goal. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. Cause I know like your end goal may or may not be in Germany. Right. Your end goal may or may not be in like Los Angeles or California. Right. But at the end of the day, at least you know like, okay, I'm following the goal. There's no way that you're like straying away from that shit one bit.
Yeah, exactly. And it like I think moving to Germany really just opened my eyes to that. Thinking about it, it's like life is so short, unexpected. You don't know what's gonna happen. So it's like, why are you gonna live so worried, scared, you know, overly planning? It's like I just like if we didn't move to Germany, there was so many things about myself that I probably wouldn't have realized, I wouldn't have done. Like I quit my job and like that was a whole big step in itself. But just being in another country is so eye-opening that if we didn't just spontaneously make that decision, I would be somebody else right now. Yeah. Like I feel like I grew so much in the past few months that we moved. Like even just the process before we moved, I knew so much about myself that I never realized. Just in that short period of time. Because it's like you're forcing yourself to just go through all these different things and all like a rush of emotions and just learning experiences that you just learn so quickly all these new things, you know? And it's like a rush for me. Like I get all excited. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Like it sucks sometimes. You're like kind of losing your mind. You're like, damn, this is kind of like crazy of us to be doing. But at the same time, it's just so exciting for me.
Well, what kind of realizations did you come through about yourself?
Just how, like my limits, like my fears. Like I basically faced all my fears, you know, like especially with quitting my job to go full time to being a musician and an artist. Like that's something that I think a lot of people can relate to, whether it's whatever music or a different passion. It's like everybody struggles with doubt and fear and like other people thinking like, oh, you got your 401k plan, you got your PTO. It's like all these things. It's like, what the hell does that even mean? You know, like I think we just get so stuck on these things that we hear about, and like people just put all these fears into our minds that we don't even realize what it is we actually want anymore. Like being in that job for like even 3 years, like it just made me kind of like hesitate to go full into music, because it's like you're hearing all these like naysayers and negative like, you know, thoughts about like, oh, well, this, but that, you know, like everyone's just always worried about what could happen, that what wrong could happen. But then I realized like going through this experience, it's like, well, what right could happen? Like, what are the things that could happen that maybe are huge blessings that if I didn't actually do that, I would have never realized, you know? So that's one of the biggest things that I really opened my eyes to, is that, you know, instead of worrying about what could go wrong, just always having that mentality of what could go right has brought us to so many new things, new people, new opportunities, and just like overall a humbling experience. Like I think we really humbled ourselves starting over, and I think it was for the better. Like I got rid of a lot of habits and just like bad things about myself that I finally feel like I conquered. Like I'm becoming a stronger person now.
Yeah. What kind of habits are you talking about?
Just doubt and being kind of afraid of certain things, like the unknown. But now I'm just like, you know, like, you know, once you're like in a country.
Self-destructive habits, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, self-destructive habits for sure. Like we grow up with all these habits of in our household, you know, whether we pick it up from our parents or, you know, our friends, or maybe like bad experiences. Like we hold on to all these things that like you just kind of don't know how to get rid of all that unless you actually go through something so drastically different where you are forced to face all of that, you know? And I feel like that's what it did for me, is to just face, you know, how I am as a person and really just reflect on myself. And damn, we're getting deep real fast. But, you know, like just stuff like that, pretty much, you know, like being alone in a country like us two, like, you know, I don't have all my friends. I don't have my normal routine. I don't wake up and go to the same place, see the same people. I can't even have like a normal conversation, especially in the beginning, because of the language barrier, you know? So it's like, it's humbling because you're forced to see another perspective, you know? Like it also helped open my eyes to see how people are who are in America who don't necessarily know the language here. Like I have a different respect for that, you know, now, because everybody is going through something so drastic. Like you don't even know what other people are going through. And now I feel like we're just on the other side of things in a different country, like learning all over again, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of reminding me of this show that I just watched very casually. It was Last Man on Earth.
Last Man on Earth, that sounds deep.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally, it is what it is. Yeah. Like, you know, it's literally just like one guy on Earth, and he's just trying to figure out, like, well, shit, what the fuck do I do with the rest of life? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like with you and Della just moving out to Germany, you're kind of forced in a very similar situation. You have a language barrier. Therefore, you have nobody to talk to, really. You don't know. Other. Yeah, except for each other. Yeah. It's like you guys, you know, he was talking about the transportation system, like, oh, we got to call a taxi, we can't call an Uber and all that shit. And it's like, it's such a different world out there. Nobody really understands that unless you move out from your comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. You're getting out of your comfort zone. I think too many times we don't even realize we're in a comfort zone until you force yourself, or life forces you to just kind of be in a situation that makes you realize, like, damn, there's a lot I need to learn about myself.
Yeah,
you know?
So much shit. I be telling, like, hella homies back in the Bay, like, yo, like, don't even, like, ever since I moved out to LA, like, people were telling me, like, oh, I wish I could move out. It's like, well, why don't you?
Exactly. It's like, you know, just do it. And that's the thing. I think everybody's just kind of afraid of looking stupid or failing in front of people, because we just grow used to this, like, this is what I think. I think, like, even for myself, I struggle with this. Like, you go through life and you accomplish some things, but then you hold on to those accomplishments and you feel like you have to keep leveling up in a certain way that if you take a step back, but in reality, I think it's a step forward. Like, for example, moving to a new country is, in some people's eyes, taking a step back because you're starting over. You know what I mean? Like, you got to learn all over again. But then it's like people are afraid of that because to other people, it looks like, damn, like, you know, are you failing in life? Like, why are you going back? Why are you so lost? Why are you trying to figure it out? Like, I struggle with that because I care too much about what people thought about my life. Like, you know, what am I accomplishing? Going to school, doing this, doing that. You know, like, people are trying to level each other up on all the wrong things. Like, you know, who has a house already at this age?
Yeah.
Like, people, like, I hear people all the time, like, damn, like, you know, Kylie's like so young, she has a business. It's like, well, stop comparing yourself to her. You know, she has a different life than you. And I think that that's part of the problem is that everyone's just comparing themselves to other people.
Well, I think that's also the scheme too, because it's like, especially with social media being so active in the world right now, it's like we see how, I guess, developed or underdeveloped like other people's like lives are in our eyes, that we get more focused on like, oh, how do I become like this person? How do I become like that person? But at the end of the day, if we're so focused on other people, we tend to not be focused on ourselves.
Exactly, yeah. And I think, like, people are just, like, when it comes to social media, like, that's a whole nother topic, too. But I just really feel like people are too attached to social media and their personal life. I mean, obviously, social media is social media. It's, like, the new age, like, resume. Like, you're going to put your best moments on there. But it's, like, just because other people have these highlights on there doesn't mean that your life sucks compared to that, because you know what I mean, like, it's just it's always going to be separate. Like, you have a highlight reel and then you have your reality, and it's like, as long as you know where you stand in your reality, like, I think that's what matters the most.
Exactly.
And that's just like all part of what I'm realizing now is like how important it is to separate yourself from like just comparing yourself to everything that you see online. You know, it's just like, it's always going to be a different thing, but I don't know. That's just
no. That's why it's like, and I'm going to say sorry one more time because I went to the 88 Rising Festival instead of DMP Fest that weekend.
Say it more. Say it again. Say sorry again. I can't believe you didn't come.
I'm so sorry. On that side note, so what happened was a couple weekends ago, it was the iHeartRadio Festival in Vegas, and I had to work that shit. And then the plan was, okay, it's going to end on a Saturday, and DMP Fest in the Bay Area is on Sunday. So the plan was, after the festival, I'm going to go to DMP. But what happened was, I got hit up
what had happened
was the 88 Rising Festival had popped up, and I'm like, damn, dude.
It's okay.
I feel like I could do both.
It's all good.
I wasn't able to do both.
It's all good,
but
Nico.
I really wanted to go, because then I was like, fuck, it's the first time I could meet Della. First time I can meet Krizia, like, it'll be dope, but I don't know. I'm still pissed off about that weekend, despite having so much fun on that Saturday.
Yeah.
But anyways,
no
what
worries.
happened?
We're here right now. It's all that matters.
And, you know, that comes to my next point was that, like, I think we all tend to look at each other's social media, like, so much and seeing, like, oh, fuck, like, Della's doing this, Krizia's doing that. And then during that 88 Rising Festival, I just found myself, first of all, I was by myself. I just went to that festival by myself to do some content. And I was surrounded by a whole bunch of motherfuckers I didn't know. And then just meeting all these people in real life really made me think, like, damn, like, these guys are really fucking cool. Yo, let me follow you on Instagram. Ain't nobody have, like, fucking millions of... There were people who had, like, hundreds of thousands. Then there were people who had, like, 100 followers. I ain't tripping. I don't really care about that shit. But at the end of the day, it's just like, damn, as human beings, we were all able to connect with this one thing and really just get, like, a real human life experience.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people are really forgetting about that shit. Like, even though we have all this social media shit, wooty-woot, whatever, like, we still need to remember to be human beings with each other.
Exactly. I think people are realizing it a little bit more now because you see a bunch of Instagram cleanses happening, you know. Like, I'm taking a break again. But it's like, you know, I think it's important that we at least realize it. But I think people are starting to realize it a little bit more now. But it's still, of course, it's always going to be hard because, you know, it's like you're constantly forced to compare yourself or to think you have to compare yourself to other people's lives. But once you get past that, life is good. You know, like, I feel like once I got past that part of feeling the need to measure myself up to somebody else's life, that I started actually living. I started being happier with myself. And I mean, like, consistently happier, because it's different when, like, I used to have to force myself to feel happier sometimes because, like, you know, like, when it's not natural. Like, you're trying to get over a certain habit. You're, like, trying to force yourself to be happy and, like, do whatever you need to do. And you're like, why am I not consistently happy? Something keeps falling off. Something keeps making me sad again. But it's like, that just means there's more work to be done on yourself.
Yeah.
And I think, like, being in Germany for the past year has allowed me to just be consistently focused on myself. And now, like, even being back here, I can feel how that really helped me stay balanced in now being back in, like, the mix of everything and everyone, you know, because you kind of have to center yourself every now and then. So
Yeah, because I'm sure it's like a good refresh for you to like get away from the thing you've been used to for like the past year and a half.
It's like distraction. Like, you don't even realize you're being distracted every day by everything. Like, with the same people you see, the same conversations you have, the same coffee place you go to, and then the same routine. It's like you have to sometimes just take a break and just like a long break and maybe see what it is that is actually bothering you, because you'll never know.
Mm-hmm. I think this one conversation we were having in between this year, you were just like, yeah, I can't wait to go to California because I really want to get in and out.
Yeah.
I was like,
now I had too much in and out. Like, I feel like, damn, I gained weight out here already in like a week. Like, I just been in and out, Wingstop, in and out. But hey, I gotta make up for it because I'm gonna go back. So yeah, Shake Shack twice.
Yeah, no, shit, I haven't been to Shake Shack in a minute too.
Yeah, dude, I like, as soon as I landed, I was like, in and out. Nobody talked to me. In and out.
Yeah.
So I'm just catching up on all the bad food.
No, but I mean, it's just like those simple things, because literally, like, this studio is based like right next to an In-N-Out. Like, it's really just right fucking there. You know what I mean? And it's just like, on simple terms, it's just like I take that shit for granted because it's like there every fucking day, and then I forget about like, damn, like, it's one of the most unhealthiest shits in the world, but then people across the world really want this shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts to me.
I know, it's crazy. It's like once I couldn't have it, like, I just had no option. I was like, I wanted all the bad shit. Like, I wanted hot Cheetos. I can't find hot Cheetos anywhere. Like, I looked on Amazon, the hot Cheetos were like $60. Remember that? I was like, what?
In Germany?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's a whole different world over there. But I guess from what I know, certain like food colorings, food dyes are banned in Europe. So like hot Cheetos, for example, has certain food colorings.
Yeah.
Not to get all technical, but that's what it is. So that's why you can't even find it unless you know someone on the army base, I think, that you could probably get that. But yeah, it's really rare to find certain foods from America in Europe.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy because
I'm gonna go buy some and slang them in Germany. You know, like, hey, I got the low price.
I've heard people slanging like drugs and shit, not fucking hot Cheetos and all that.
Hot Cheeto dealer, hey, that's a new lane.
That isn't. Hey, shit, you better capitalize. Y'all better capitalize on that shit while you're there right now. Honestly,
for real though.
Pack up on that shit. Like, I'm about to go to fucking Cancun like in a couple of weeks, and I'm already thinking about like, damn, I need to like get hella white Hennessy from over there.
Yeah, like, you just gotta. I mean, hey, why not? Like, we're in the merch. We didn't even know there was a merch store of In-N-Out. There was a merch store for In-N-Out in Vegas. We pulled up into it. She got her socks, whatever. And when there was like hella In-N-Out clothes, like sweatpants, joggers, and I was thinking like, damn, I could retail this up in Germany, like, you know, because people they love that over there. Well, as far as I know, a lot of people that I've met are like, I want to try it, you know, I want to see what it's like. So, but anyways,
crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
So that shit must be like hella eye-opening to you, knowing that like you meet people who really want to get into the stuff that you grew up getting into.
I think it's the same vice versa for them. We're like, ooh, this is so cool, and they're like, really? Like, okay.
So then what were like those cool things that you were getting accustomed to, like in Germany, that they were just like, oh, this is like everyday regular shit?
Just like, I was like, wow, it's so clean over here. Like, everybody recycles so well, and they're like, duh, like, don't you guys do that? I'm like, kind of, but not really.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, the trash is like crazy here. Like, when I go over there and I look at how clean it is and how strict they are in like recycling and stuff, it's like, damn, they really care about, you know, their environment in that sense.
Yeah.
But it's the opposite here.
Total opposite. Like,
it's just different lifestyles, you know what I mean?
hope while you guys are here in like California, you don't go to the beaches because they're pretty trash. They're pretty fucking trash.
Here in LA or what?
In LA, dude, like, cause I remember when I first moved out here, because the Bay beaches are horrible. I mean, okay, fine.
There's no beaches in Germany I could pull up on, so I'm going to be grateful for whatever beach I can see.
See, and that's just changing my perspective on everything, too. It's like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for complaining right now.
Yeah, be grateful. I know. I was talking to one of my friends about this. I'm like, you never know what you have until it's taken away from you. I know that for sure. So that's that's another thing that I realized. It's like, damn, all the little things, like just being able to have a conversation with someone in the car, like a taxi or something. Like we can barely even communicate because we got to like Google Translate or, you know, we're still learning German, but it's just very different, you know?
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't put out a song like in German by now. Or even like sprinkled a little bit.
Whoa, going too far. I don't think no.
Not even a little bit?
I don't think they'd be happy about that.
Oh, it's like hella butchered and shit.
I mean, it's just like, it's not natural to me. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like
yeah.
It's just no.
It's just not a thing.
For me, if I learned it really well one day, you never know. But even then, it's like, I don't know. I'm just going to stay in my lane. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Yeah.
So going back to it, like, there was just like so many gems within the past couple of minutes where you were just talking.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Much.
You know, because I was just telling Jasmine the other day, I was like, yo, like, in a world where music and entertainment is so overpowered by like whites and blacks, it's even more so just overpowered by men. And I told her, I was like, yo, we need more like female representation in here because it's like, that's half the world.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, it's very inspirational for me to like hear everything that you just said because it's like, it's a woman talking about it, you know? And I feel like there's not a lot of like, I mean, you have like the Oprahs of the world and whatnot, but we don't have enough women really like making that stand to like talk about these type of things and tell other women like, yo, like you can actually do this shit if you just like set your mind to it.
Right. I mean, it's definitely, I think more now than ever, like women are coming up in a lot of different ways, but of course there's always room for improvement, you know? Like I think it's just, I don't know what it is, but it's just the way it is. But I mean, at least we're having like a lot of improvement as far as like women stepping up in all kinds of different levels and ways, which is cool. But yeah, I agree. There of course needs to be more. You know?
Always. I mean, more is always good.
Yeah,
especially in that field. Are there like any like women icons that you look up to that you've just been like following or really like just fuck with?
I mean, I don't like. Of course, there's always just everyone in general, like in the music industry, women-wise, that like, you know, the Beyoncés, the Rihannas, you know, like that's always inspiring to see on that level. But just even every day, like when I meet women, like at the event in Vegas, like I met a girl at a booth and she was talking to me about how she really wants to just contribute to nonprofits and stuff like that. Like to me, that's meaningful, you know, like whether it's, you don't have to be a superstar, but as long as I like connect with women or anybody really who's just trying to do something different and live a vision that they have, you know, that's inspiring to me. So I don't really like idolize specific people, but it's just collectively, I think I'm just inspired by anybody who is bold enough to pursue something that most people wouldn't, you know? I don't know if that answers it, but
no, that fucking answers it, dude, because it's like you're not really looking at anybody with like a particular status.
Right. I mean, that point. That's cool and all, you know, and of course, respect is given. Like, everybody, of course, is accomplishing things in their own way. And if you're at a superstar level, that's even more dope. Yeah. But, yeah, everybody's succeeding in their own way, and I like those people.
Yeah. So. It's crazy because, like, I think this entire conversation is just going back to simplicity, right? And it's like, despite how big like your moves are, it's like it's all just so fucking simple. It's I don't even know like what I'm trying to say around that shit.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I think sometimes we just overthink and overcomplicate, and at the end of the day, we all have something in common, and it's all, even though we're all different and we're all unique people and different careers, I think at the end of the day, it's like there's one simple message that I think that we just all have in common. Everybody wants to feel valued, you know, everybody wants to help others feel valued. I think that's what I think. I don't know. So it really doesn't matter like how superstar you are. It's just if you're happy with what you see in your life and the people around you, like that's what matters.
Yeah. So you want like other people to feel valued, like at least like the people you meet and shit, or people that you don't meet.
I mean, like I guarantee if you like, I don't know, I haven't really sat down with anybody who's super successful, but I'm pretty sure I would just imagine that the most meaningful part of what they do is the purpose of why they started, you know, like, which is always more simple than we think. So it's never money. Like, that's just going to give you more of a platform. But I think at the end of the day, like, everybody just has that one thing in common. It's like, we want to contribute somehow, you know, to feel valued.
So why is that really important in your life? Like, I mean, I guess when you were younger or whatever, did you feel like you weren't as valued as you felt like you could have been?
I think like the household that I grew up in and the way that everything plays out right now in my family, like I think that is probably why I'm so determined, because like I don't really talk about this a lot, but my brother and my sister, they're both like, well, my sister's older, my brother's younger. I'm the middle child, and my house has always been like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like such a long story, but I think it's what motivates me the most is that my sister and I, like, we were really close at one point, and then at a certain time, she just kind of like disconnected from all of us, and we haven't talked in talked in like years, like 7, 8, 10 years almost. And so it's kind of rough, you know, seeing that. And my brother also struggled with like depression, anxiety, and my mom had a tough childhood, you know, and it's just like a lot of things that I think I wanted to kind of lead the way for everyone and just kind of show that if I can do it, like you guys can do it. Like that's always been my main motivation, is to show, or to be the first in my family history to just turn nothing into something. Yeah. And that's always been like my number one goal, because I think, you know, like everybody just kind of falls into their, you know, sometimes we fall into our pit and our hole, and, you know, it's hard to get out of it. And I know what that's like, because I've been there, and like I got out of it, you know, and of course life's never easy. And this is something I talk to them about all the time. It's like, yeah, it's always going to be up and down, but like I always feel like I'm the middle child, so maybe that has something to do with it, like the psychology behind it, that I'm always like the mediator, trying to like bring everyone together, and like, you know what I mean? Like that's just how I think once I started to get out of that hole, I started to see it as it's my responsibility to like also show them that it's possible. So I think that's deep down what it really is. So, woo!
That was shit, man. Like that was like. I feel like we need to put this on
like what was in that Hennessy though? Like what was in there?
I feel like we need to put this on like some one of those like Target cards with like the inspirational packets. Like, here you go, like
right,
just for a rainy day.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's really awesome though, dude. And I appreciate you like opening up a little bit about that stuff, you know, because like me as being like the eldest amongst two, I always felt like I kind of had to like lead the way for my younger sister. My younger sister is, God, she's like 22 right now.
Yeah.
Right? And like growing up, my parents always saw me as like the non-trouble child. Like I would just be like, yeah, I'm going to go to work, go to school, whatever. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. My sister, on the other hand, she was more like all over the fucking place. Yeah. Dude. Like she would get in trouble. She, you know, she's done some stuff. You know what I mean? Like she's done some stuff, and it was like my parents, she always felt like my parents were comparing us to growing up. Yeah. When in reality, it's just like, no, like, you know, like, I think just the psychology of what's going on through my head and what's going on through yours is just different. And it's just like, it hit me a little bit quicker than it hit her. Because now what's happening is that, like, I'll make fun of her for this because it's all in good terms, because ever since I moved out to LA, we've gotten a lot closer. Yeah. Going back to, you don't know what you got till it's gone. I'm like, yeah, I feel that on my end. Yeah. And then immediately afterwards, like, God, where was I going with this? She ended up going to like nursing school and all that. Now she's finna make like way more money, and I be telling her like, damn, you're gonna have to start buying me some shit, because like I ain't making shit out here. But it's like for me, it's like damn, it's so crazy how like you think you have the dynamics to like lead the way, and then like as life changes, you see like, damn, like my younger sister or like my sibling, like they're doing a lot better now. Yeah. And it's just, I mean, I'm sure, at least for me, it's like, it's amazing to see that shit too.
Right. And it ties back to what I was saying earlier too, is like, at the end of the day, it's like feeling valued and seeing the people you care about feel valued. It's like, you know, it does something that I think it just lasts forever. So I agree 100%.
Yeah, for sure. STFU playlist. I think we were trying to talk about that during that whole Instagram live session, but then our
man,
nothing ever seems to work whenever we try to communicate while you're in Germany.
Chat in different countries, like as far as I know, that was so. I know, my bad. I thought it was such a cool idea too. We were like talking about it, like let's do it.
Honestly, it was a cool idea. I was just fuck,
but
dude, I wish this internet was just not so shitty. I don't know who
service,
the was from.
Everyone on the live chat was like, Nico's frozen, Krizia's frozen. I was like, no, but we tried it. We learned.
So let's talk about that now.
Yeah,
because we finally get like the in-person thing to talk about. So STFU, how that entire project come about? I think it's like 8 tracks?
Yeah. Is it 8? I can't even think right now. But yeah, it's something around there. Actually, a lot of the songs that I have on that project or the playlist was recorded, like some as far as back as 2015. So I basically had a lot of songs that I finished that I never put out. And I'm in the process of working on my very first album, because I've put out, an EP here, an EP there. And I had all these songs that I didn't, I know that I wanted to put these out, but I just didn't feel like altogether that they would mesh as one album, So I figured, why not just put out a playlist and just kind of have,
That's smart.
I feel like it's also a way for me to just purge out, my past, my music, what I've done, and just put it out there, and then, just keep growing from there. Because otherwise, I would just be so attached to these songs and just, hold on to them for so long, which I did, and I just decided to put them out. And then the whole concept of Shut the Fuck Up was just everything that I was going through was me silencing my doubt, me silencing people who doubted me, and it was just like a STFU, just shut up and do it kind of moment, and that's pretty much how it all
See, and it's crazy because it's I think from initially seeing STFU, I thought the direction was more outward, but it's more self-reflective in that sense. Mm-hmm. That's a super
I'm weird like that. I'm like a Scorpio. I think we're deep thinkers, or I don't know what it is, but I'm just I always think very deep.
Yeah. No, that's sick, because on the surface, I mean, like I said, I think people get that more outward perspective.
Right.
But the fact that you were thinking more no, I need to shut the fuck up. I need to silence myself from all these doubts and shit is fucking amazing.
It was what really was happening at that time in my life. So I just figured hey, if that's what I just want to just say and get it out there, then that's what I'm gonna do. So
what was my favorite record aside from Dirty, I think it was Gold Standard.
Oh, you like that one?
I really like Gold Standard.
You were eh.
Yeah, that shit slaps.
It makes you just feel I don't know how to describe it, but
I was like, damn, where are my standards at? I was really self-reflecting and shit. Yeah. But what was what was your absolute favorite song on that project?
It's hard to say. Actually, I think Permission was one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just I don't know, it was a happy time in that whole moment where I was I felt I was relieved off a lot of things, and just the overall vibe of it was I don't know, till this day, if I listen to it, I don't feel it seems outdated to me. It just has a kind of different sound. So.
Well, what was going on in your life during that time, or were you tapping into a particular time in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had just met at that time, and it was me kind of rediscovering myself, my passion in music, what I wanted, what I thought was possible. It was kind of a realization, I'm giving myself permission to just go forward. And that's kind of why I like that song. Damn, I got you again.
Shit. It's crazy because people don't really because your sound, like I said, is more clubby, vibrant, and all that. And it's people don't really. I feel a lot of people don't go deep and think about the little things that make that song so special. Mm-hmm. I think people just look at the surface of what those songs is and Permission.
Yeah.
But it's
yeah,
again,
I mean,
because once you realize the project's more self-reflective, it's
oh yeah,
she's allowing herself.
Mm-hmm.
To feel a certain way.
And I think it was cool too because I'm a very private person, in general, I'm talkative, I'm outgoing or whatever, but I'm just with a lot of things that are important to me, I'm very private about, and I think sometimes that comes off wrong, or but I think for me putting out this project and now, like you said, knowing the meaning behind those things, it's a relief, because how I communicate the more private part of my life, it's through music. So.
Yeah. I mean, but I will tell you, though, I think it's going to get a little bit more difficult to be a private person as your career keeps on, like, moving up.
Yeah,
you know
I know. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Well, I guess we'll deal with that as it comes. But, I mean, I'm learning to be more open. You know, like, normally I wouldn't want to share, like, what I shared with you earlier about my family and stuff because I just kind of overthink about it. But now I'm just like, I really just want to put everything out there when I feel the time is right, you know?
Yeah. Oh, shit,
But at some point, you got to keep certain things, you know, dear to you. And,
you know,
like,
sure.
you got to have your safe space, too. But, I mean, just give out little doses, you know? That's how I am.
I know, for sure. Because I think, like, a lot of people forget, like, with fame comes sacrifice of privacy. Mm-hmm. But, you know, like you said, like, little flashes of yourself. I feel like the more vulnerable you make yourself, I think the more people fuck with you in that sense. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because, like, it just all comes down to relatability. Obviously, you don't have to spill every single fucking detail of your life.
I mean, that might work for some people.
It might work, yeah.
But, like, for me, I just know, like, that's just probably not how I'm going to be.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I'm just learning to accept the times where it should be more open and vulnerable, like you said. So.
For sure. Well, I do appreciate you sharing everything, especially the stuff about your family on this podcast.
You know what? It was the right moment, right energy. And so thank you for allowing me to even go there because, you know, you asked the right questions apparently and you got to it. Yeah, I'm proud of you, Nico.
I try to.
Okay, lunch
I went to
table.
school. Yeah, fun fact. I had to go to school for this shit. But anyways, safe travels back to Germany.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your time in California. I hope you and Della move out here. We could probably smoke hookah like the next time you guys are here.
You know, we might. You know, we want to come back to California. I feel like there's no place like home, you know, in California, of course. But we'll see. We'll see where life takes us. Like I said, we're weirdos. We're spontaneous. You never know. We might end up in Canada. I don't know.
Shit, you might
you just never know.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, hey, I'll always want to come back home. So.
Yee. Kudos to that, man. Yo, Krizia, where can everybody find you and your inspirational ass?
My inspirational ass? Whoa, I never heard that one before. But you can find me on Instagram, Krizia Official. You know, you could email me. You could call me. I'm just kidding. Whatever you want to do. I'm on Instagram, Krizia Official. You can get my music on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. But, you know, I got to say it. KriziaOfficial.com has everything you need. Every single damn thing. I'm Nico Blitz. This is the lunch table. Krizia Official. Hey, shout out to Della too for pulling through. This was a fun thing going on. I know. Today. I just want to say too. I don't think I give him enough credit, but he is literally my rock, and I think that he always helps me see everything in such a way that I never really see things. So I'm learning a lot from him, and I just want to say I appreciate you. Aw. Thank you. He's like, damn, finally. that's I tried, but I just had to put that out there because I mean, at the end of the day, and my whole team in general, I just. Look, when you're with the right people, I think life is just always that much more fulfilling. So. I fuck with that shit. Just let me know when the wedding is. I'll be there. I mean, hopefully I get that. Hopefully I get that and a +1 maybe. We don't know. Right? No. Okay. Shit, man. Damn, I'm sweating now. Stop it. We gonna end it there. We gonna end it right there. Thanks, Nico. Nico Blitz, the lunch table. Hey. We are out. Peace out.